All right, Algebra 2. I was going to do this all in one video and then I decided to split it up. So here is from lesson 25B number 5, and the reason I chose this one is because it's this lovely fraction. I thought that might add a little bit of, I don't know, made it extra interesting or something. First of all, let me say I do know this is a parabola, even if I was just getting this on a test. How do I know? Because only the x is squared and not the y. Okay, so otherwise, if they were both squared, it would probably be either an ellipse or in a circle. That's all we've learned thus far. Okay, I also know it's a parabola that opens up because this coefficient on my x squared term is positive. He may be ugly, but he is positive. So I already know, and so on my answer, I'm going to write that this is a parabola, and it opens up. Oops, I'm running into other things here. Okay, now remember what we're learning this time is that you can find your vertex by finding negative b over 2a when you've got whatever it is to the first power by itself. So here's your b term. So the opposite of a positive 3 is negative 3. And 2, and my a value is 1/4. And that may give some people some grief. Now, most of you have calculators that can handle fractions, okay? Or, here we go. Let's do this manually. 2 times 1/4. First of all, you know that 2 goes into 4 twice, so that's 1/2. So you've got this, negative 3 divided by 1/2, which, by the way, remember when you divide, it's the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal. So instead of 1 over 2, it would be 2 over 1. So you should get negative 6. So my vertex, the x value, is negative 6. Okay, and then the way you find the y value is plug that in everywhere where you see an x. So I'm going to have 1/4. Everywhere I see an x, I'm going to plug in negative 6. Notice here, do your exponents first. That's 36. A fourth of 36 is 9. That would give me minus 18 plus 3. So that's what, negative 9 plus 3, which is negative 6. So my vertex is the point negative 6, negative 6. My axis of symmetry, sorry, for some reason, I don't know if it's allergies or what, I got the sniffles today. My axis of symmetry is going to be x equals negative 6. Okay, now the way you can do that is when you start to graph it, think about it. Here we've got negative 6, negative 6, and my little graph is upside down, I think. Okay, I've got negative 6, negative 6. So way down here, and I knew it opened down, okay? And this is going to be my axis of symmetry. So that means it's going to be the same on the left as it is on the right. So it's going to look something like that. So you're going to need to find one more point when you graph this. So what you can do is usually I'll find something like on either side of it really close. Like this is a negative 6, so I might plug in negative 5 or negative 4. I actually am going to choose negative 4. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I'm hoping when I plug in my negative 4 up here that things will simplify a little bit better than if I plugged in negative 5. Okay, so I'm going to plug in negative 4 to find one more point. So if I do that, and I'm going to plug in negative 4, so that's my x value. So everywhere I see an x, I'm going to plug in negative 4. So there's that. That gives me 16. And a fourth of 16 is 4. That gives me negative 8 plus 3, which is negative 5. So that's a nice point, okay? It's okay to get fractions and then just kind of estimate where it's going to hit on the graph. There's nothing wrong with that. I was just hoping, and it did come out really pretty. So there's negative 4, negative 5. And I think I was remembering when I did the last one, this one does open up. Duh, we wrote that. So look. On my axis of symmetry, do you see how this is 2 over? Then this one will be 2 over, okay? Another one of my favorite points to plug in is 0, and this one actually comes out really pretty because if you plug in 0, this would be 0, 0, and then I'd end up with a 3. So another nice point is the point 0, 3, and it kind of gives me something to aim for right here. So here's 0, 3. Notice again, this is my axis of symmetry right here, and you can see that this is over, what, 6? So this one would be over 6 as well. So it's going to be somewhere way over here. But it is symmetrical with that axis of symmetry. So we're going to have something like this. Don't forget to extend it and put arrows on it. And then we've got this. Whoop. So it's going to look something like that. Okay, so nice smooth curve down here. So there's my parabola that opens up. And then if you would please, when you find your answer, box this in. Okay, but here's the kicker. And this is why I mainly did this video, is I still want you to be able to put this in standard form. So we're going to practice doing that. That's part 2 of your answer, just because you need to know how to do this. Remember, when you put this in standard form, the value, get your whatever it is to the first power by itself. Let's group these together. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to rewrite this over here. 1/4 x squared plus 3x plus 3. Okay, what I'm going to do is pull the 1/4 out. Now, this is what's going to be tricky right here. If you pull a 4th out of that, you actually want to multiply it by 4. So I know that's weird, but let me show you something. And then don't forget, there's your plus 3. I'm running into this. Think about a 4th of 12. Do you see how that is 3? So you want to make sure if you multiply this back in, you get exactly what you started with. So when you pull the fraction out, whatever's down here in that denominator, basically you're multiplying by that. I know, that sounds really weird. Okay, so same thing, to find your magic term, you're going to half it, which is 6, and square it, which is 36. And there's my plus 3. Okay. A 4th of 36 is 9. So you really added 9. So now we have to undo that and subtract 9. That's what's confusing. We usually do it on the other side, but on a parabola, you want to keep everything on one side. Okay, so this gives me 1/4 x plus, think what's half of 12 is 6 squared. 3 minus 9 is 6. So this is it in standard form, which is great because I can see my vertex. What makes this 0 is -6. What's tagged on the end is -6. So there's your vertex.